Hi there, my name is IJ.A.L, and today I'm making this video to explain what exactly the TCU is. Well, the TCU stands for the Creation Universe, and it's a universe or a franchise of books I started writing in 2013, which is 10 years ago, which is quite a while. It started off with the story of Drake Fannings, which is a book about a boy who grows up in the Netherlands, is the same place I am from, and at some point, together with his friends Haru and Julia, and eventually a friend called Maya, he finds this mythical world. Within this world, there's all these kinds of mythical, magical creatures. There's dwarves, elves, even a nymph at some point. There's centaurs, but there's also a dark wizard that at some point the main character Drake finds out that he has to defeat, that he's destined or prophesized to defeat. And together with his friends and all the people he meets along the way, he tries to find a way to defeat this wizard. The book consists out of 5 parts, and they all have a bit of a different story, but it is a precise continuation. So in the first part, for example, he has to find out how to defeat this evil wizard. There's one part where mythical creatures break out into the real world. There's a whole quest at some point in the 4th part where they have to find out what a certain abbreviation stands for to prevent something catastrophic coming to the Earth. And it goes from having to defeat a dark wizard eventually to Drake suffering from these very difficult illusions, and he faces really troublesome challenges down the road. The story gets darker and darker. So that's basically the story of Drake Fannings. It consists out of 5 parts that are all sort of like short stories, but within one book. I will talk more about these parts later on. So there's a continuation of the story of Drake Fannings, which is called The Sleeping Melody. The Sleeping Melody is basically, and it's not necessarily a spoiler because pretty much everyone's gonna eventually find out, oh, there's a book about his daughter. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So it's about his daughter called Melody, to which the title's actually not named after, surprisingly. There's all kinds of references as to why it's called The Sleeping Melody, but you'll find out in the book. So it's a continuation of the story of Drake Fannings, and it basically follows Melody and all the other old characters like Drake, Haru, Julia, Maya, as they try to fight through or survive through a war coming to the Earth. I can't say much about it, but that's the continuation, and it's a much larger book with 2 parts. And while the story of Drake Fannings can be seen as 5 parts slash 5 movies, if that ever were to happen, please call me, anyone. I want these to be movies. Thank you. Would be great. Thank you. Then there would be 2 movies, but these parts are much larger and not so much short stories. Then there's a 3rd part, which transpires long after the events of the story of Drake Fannings and The Sleeping Melody, called Ophiad. And this is currently just a screenplay. I wrote this before The Sleeping Melody, actually. And I am currently planning on soon working on turning this into... It's currently a book, but it's written in the form of a screenplay, and I'm going to be working on turning it into a normal kind of writer's perspective book very soon. So be on the lookout for that. So as I've said, I would come back to the 5 parts of the story of Drake Fannings real soon, and that's because I'm currently working on what I call the Split Project, or something like that. It's not exactly official. I am currently working on dividing the 5 parts of the story of Drake Fannings and turning them into 5 separate books, which are likely to be around a minimal novel length, 50 to 60,000 words, probably about 200 pages on each, but I can't say for sure. It might just end up being 400 for one of them, I have no clue. Which will include more dialogue, many more scenes, more chapters, a lot will be rewritten, there will be more details, more character descriptions. Basically, the few short stories that were in the book of the story of Drake Fannings will be split. So I'm currently working on the Battle for the Mythical World, which will be dubbed the Battle for the Mythical World from the story of Drake Fannings, basically. and I am nearing the end of production actually. Once that's done, I am planning on approaching a publishing company. So far I've had no luck with publishing companies. Alas, sadly, they have often come back to me or even approached me saying that they got a hold or saw my manuscript, manuscript, and said that it was, well, they gave me a lot of compliments. They thought it was really good. The only downside is that they cannot afford to spend money on a new author. So they offered me a hybrid contract instead of a traditional. A hybrid contract is where I have to put in a certain amount of money and contribute, but it's quite a bit every time. Contracts are basically all the same, and it's a lot. And I'm not exactly wealthy right now when it comes to money, so that's not gonna work. And so far I've not managed to get a traditional plan. So I have heard that where I live in the Netherlands, there's actually a publishing company that accepts all kinds of manuscripts, where the chance you'll succeed is very likely, or the chance you'll be accepted is very likely. The only downside about that is that distribution will remain in the Netherlands and Belgium, I believe. But I've decided to settle for this option because it's just not been working out, and the chance that I'll succeed in this industry, which is not as pretty as it may seem, sadly, is very unlikely. So currently, if this does succeed, then the distribution will remain in the Netherlands and Belgium, but there might be possibilities for one to contact me and I can send something their way, or the author copies, etc, etc. But that's for in the future. So that's the split project. There will be 5 parts, which will be much more detailed books of their own, and hopefully soon in stores. First part shouldn't take much longer, and it will be grand with so many updates, and even the map will be updated, so stay tuned for that. So besides the story of Drake Fanning's split project and the Ophiad book that I will be making, there has also been made an audiobook of the story of Drake Fanning's, the joint part, of course. An entire full audiobook I made on YouTube for you to watch, and it's even on Spotify. Just look up the story of Drake Fanning's or I.J.A.L, and on YouTube the audiobook is on this very channel, so it should be easy. There will be the Sleeping Melody audiobook at some point, which will be a bit more expanded with the fact that it's not just me, and it will likely be each of the 5 perspectives in there, which is Melody, Drake, Haru, Julia, and Maya, voiced by 5 different actors. But it might still be a while before that launches, which also goes for the Ophiad audio play. So like I've mentioned, Ophiad is an audio play, and I've actually been working on getting some voice actors together to voice the entire audio play. Although it is a massive project, which means it might take a while before it launches, considering I have a lot to do first. I decided that writing this split project and such, and the Ophiad book should come first. And then reaching out to a publishing house. But eventually there will be a full-on audio play, which I'm quite excited for. There is also the website. I will be linking it in the description. You can check out the website. It's not that grand. I'm not very good at creating websites or design and such. So, but you can subscribe there, fill in your email address, and you'll get notifications, emails whenever something new is published. And once this franchise starts doing a little bit better, then I'll probably be posting more on there. There's also the Instagram I've relaunched. I've been posting stories of character art that I commissioned someone to make for me. Their Instagram and links will also be linked in the description. And they are basically character art of very specific characters from my universe. And they're still available to see despite them being stories. They will be in my highlights, so feel free to check those out. So for anyone who'd like to get their hands on one of my books, they currently are available on Amazon. Just look up The Creation Universe or any of the titles of my books, but either way it will also be linked in the description. I'm not sure whether they will stay on Amazon when I publish at the publishing company, at a publishing company. I'm not entirely sure what the rules are on that, but you'll hear from me. But for now, they are available. Just a heads up, if you do decide to read the story of Drake Fannings, there will be more detailed versions coming out soon. So last but not least, once again, you are free to subscribe to the website to receive notifications of whenever I put something there. Also, feel free to follow me on Instagram. You'll see all kinds of updates there and the stories related to my universe. And subscribe to this channel to also receive more updates and all kinds of videos. I upload much more than just book-related stuff here. I love a lot of kinds of creativity. There's not many I don't indulge in. Also, if you're interested in the creation universe, feel free to join my Discord server. It is mainly just a Discord server to talk to people, make friends, and do fun activities with. But it's also themed around the creation universe, so feel free to join the Discord and say hi. I'll be there too. And it would mean a lot to me. So on that note, I hope this video explained a bit about the creation universe and you have a bit more insight now. If there's still something you'd like to know, feel free to comment and I'll reply as fast as I can. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'd say until next time. Bye bye.